Hi, everybody. It's Allie again from Heart and Soul Connected, and welcome back to this shadow series. A couple of things I want to mention today. Last night, I had a very interesting shadow story that I want to pass along to you. It's something that I realized could be an excellent teaching tool, and so what I've done is thought about it for a little while and decided that I was going to bring it here. So last night, I was on Susan Lynn and Jen's World show. I was sitting in the audience, of course, or in the chat. And one of the things that Susan asked everybody was, "Does anybody have any questions about politics or anything else?" So I ended up writing a comment. And my comment was that it was noted that Rand Paul's wife apparently invested some money into some COVID related or pandemic related companies. And she did it in February 2020. And he did not tell anybody for 16 months that she did this. And I guess this is something you have to disclose. So I wrote basically Rand Paul's wife did this, that, the other. And then I said ass wipe at the end. And Susan thought that was really funny because she describes me as this really sweet and nice lady that, and that's fine. I'm not taking issue with what Susan said. What I am interested in discussing, however, is that this is not the only me there is. And my shadow is very, very active. I swear like a sailor. Many times. And I don't care the fact that, I'm in my 60s or whatever, but I do care where I do it. And I do care how I do it with regard to my students or my channel or whatever. And I know that YouTube has knocked people off for less. Let's put it that way. So I've been very diligent not to add particular words to my language on my show. But I thought, wow, that's so interesting because it really does show that we have to balance out what we do as far as propriety goes. For instance, you wouldn't stand up in the middle of a church service and scream the F word or something like that, or a group of ladies at a garden party and tell them a dirty joke or something. But yeah, I'm pretty colorful when I have to be, and I'm also I have my days when I'm driving where I'm not a happy camper. I, of course, wouldn't whip out a gun or anything like that, but, people cut me off and I won't be very happy about it and I'll blast my horn at them or whatever. All these are part of my shadow side. I'm not necessarily proud of all those things. However, I am who I am. And so I thought it was important to make that connection to let people know that I'm just not the sweet little or I had someone once call me when I was a teenager, Wholesome Alice, because my real name's Alice. I'm not, that was almost an insult. So, while I'm not, a rip roaring, like, rotten apple or anything, I have my days and my shadow is part of who I am and I'm not afraid to use it. Oh, doesn't this look lovely over here? My dog was chewing on it. That's why it's all up there and it looks lousy. Sorry. So that was important for me. One of the other things that I've been told was that as an English teacher, professor, whatever person, that why do I use words like that if I did use those words to somebody or somewhere and somebody happened to overhear me? And I said, a lot of our words that we use in our language have this very specific meaning that's attached to them, and they're utilized as a way of, I would say, releasing. Let's say there's usually anger or there's some vehement response behind it. But the one word that I can't figure out why it's a curse word is the word shit. I think it's a great word. It explains a lot of things. And in fact, I tell my students the first day of class, I've been known to flip, and say that word several times in a conversation, even, that sometimes there's just no other word that fits the category that I need that word to fit. So we pick all, George Carlin said in the 70s, we have all these words over here. And, this one you can say, this one you can't say, depends on how you say it. Now, I'm not speaking at all about, racial epithets or names for people that show any kind of bias or prejudice. That I don't agree with. I don't feel that comfortable with people saying it. I don't feel that comfortable with saying it myself, unless I was in a private moment, maybe with my husband or something. I am not privy to saying any of those things, and I don't agree that they should be said. I think they are demonstrably rude and inappropriate, and as much as people would say, well, not everything's politically correct, I agree with that. Language has changed over the period of time, even since I was growing up. A lot of things that my parents said or their friends said or our neighbors said are things that you're not supposed to say anymore. But the S word and even the F word, given the situation, is sometimes the best word for the way to explain something. My favorite explanation of the F word in spirituality was done by Osho. If you've ever heard of Osho, and if you haven't, you can go and Google Osho. And he is on YouTube, and he does explain the F word to his people. He's kind of crazy looking because he was from the 80s, and he's Indian, and he has a very strange accent, of course, but fun. And then he's saying these F word things, and he's using the F word as a verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb, a declaratory statement, a way of he goes on and on and on, and it's quite hilarious because he's very serious looking and he's saying these things. So I find that whole thing to be totally fascinating and something that I've watched more than once because it just makes me laugh. It really does. So these things being said, of course, we have a shadow side. Of course, we are not proud of certain things that we either have done in the past, we might do now. The way we don't want to hurt people's feelings, and sometimes we can do that if we utilize language that's not appropriate for the situation. But one of the very best examples of the F word, is the acronym. Considered, if you take the first letter of this word for each one of these, is fornication under consent of the king. And, I don't know whether that's a true story or not, that it was an acronym that was changed into this other word that just seems to, people are just really mad when they say it, or they're like, wow, oh my goodness, and they say it there too. I just thought it was fun. It was fun to be able to explain this. And when Susan said that last night, I thought, this is a teaching moment. This is an excellent teaching moment, because I'm not Little Miss Perfect, and I'm not, always a happy, heart and soul connected person. I have my days, and I don't want to come across that I'm not those things, but I choose not to come on and rant about things either. However, the person the junior senator from Kentucky, who was says he's a doctor but was an ophthalmologist, and he believes he knows more than Dr. Fauci, and he doesn't think we should wear masks, and he doesn't think we should social distance, and he doesn't think this, and he doesn't think that. The fact that he's just a politician, we don't get what we see. We get hidden things behind, and that's the way that they work in a lot of cases. But the fact that his wife decided to cash in on this pandemic tells me that, of course, he knew about it, and perhaps she was doing it to, quote, be a distance, an arm's length away from this particular issue. But it just doesn't make any sense. And I just wanted you to know that when I go on and I watch Nasty Women, when I watch Jen and Susan cut up about different things, and other people on here, that I just laugh and have a best time with that. And that's who I am. I'm not one person. I'm a myriad of people. And that's who I am. So don't think that, you have to hide everything, because it isn't, you have to be who you are. It's very important for you to show both sides. Of course, you're not going to go smack somebody in the face or whatever, but you want to be true to who you are and how you are. And so little bit of shadow coming out today. I wish you a wonderful weekend. I'm still working on a couple of more chapters here in order to bring that information to you. And one of them is about shadow in love. There's a lot of information. I do want to bring up one other thing in this little chat, and that is I had a wonderful Zoom meeting today with a very nice woman in the UK who has a website called Emerging Soul Tarot. She has quite a number of tarot readings on there already, but she only shows her hands because that's her choice. However, she's also working on developing a wonderful healing transmutation for people who would like their shadow side to sort of be moved from where it is into something much better. She's working on developing that, and she's going to try to make that into an audio tape. When she does, and I'm not going to say if she does, I'm going to say when she does, then I hope that I will be able to bring that to you so you can look at it, and you can, if you choose to. It's not something everybody has to look at or listen to or whatever. But if you choose to listen to it, I will bring it here for you to listen to. But in the meantime, if you could go over to Emerging Soul Tarot, she's not quite ready to be interviewed yet. She's a little shy. But if you could do that and check out some of her videos and like and maybe subscribe so that she can build her community, I would so appreciate it. I really would. And I thank you all for listening, as you always do to me, and for your love and support and your comments and donations when you've given them. I mean, I couldn't ask for a more supportive, wonderful community than the one I'm in. So thank you. God bless you. And don't forget, we have two sides, maybe more, and we have every right to use them or be who they are. So God bless you all.